Sound is the ultimate nature and foundation of all reality. It's everywhere, all around us. This is what you hear at a morning run. And this is what you hear while commuting to work. Oh, and through thousands of years of evolution, Homo sapiens learned to use sound to perceive and create tools like whistles for agriculture, as well as to drum, sing, and dance to attract potential romantic partners for procreation. From Homo sapiens to modern humans, and in a much highly connected social context, voice specifically plays an important role in forming impressions. Besides Max being, well, past his prime, the rest of the team is still in their youthful years, chasing the dopamine rush and thrill of romantic love. But when it comes to dating, voices can sometimes be deceiving.
哥哥，我可以过来靠过我了，只是有个情况。谢谢哥哥，晚安，爱你哦。
So, how much do we care about how someone presents themselves through their voice in romantic settings? In this experiment, we're exploring the question of how much a woman's voice affects her attractiveness to men in a heterosexual setting. We invited 36 participants who are young and middle-aged males to test out how voice characteristics affect their perception of female attractiveness. Since voices exhibit different traits such as timbre, volume, pitch, and breathiness, which can all impact the overall auditory presentation, we focused specifically on the effect of pitch as a control variable. We recruited 2 voice actresses to record audio samples for participants to listen to. One participant group received samples of voice A in the F minor key, which is the higher pitch.
Hello, my name is Taylor. Great to meet you.
Along with a benchmark voice in the middle range, D minor key.
I enjoy listening to music and swimming.
The other group received samples of voice B in the B minor key, which is the lower pitch.
Let's chat more once we meet up.
Along with the same benchmark voice. This setup ensured that participants had a reference point for comparison, allowing us to determine their preferences for high-pitched versus low-pitched voices. We asked participants about their impressions of the voice they heard, including their perceptions of the women's image and personality, as well as their willingness to pursue long-term, short-term, or casual relationships. Our participants' imagination certainly ran wild when asked how they envisioned the girls behind the voices they just heard. For higher-pitched voices, they imagined someone with long, blonde hair, fair skin, a laid-back demeanor, and larger eyes. In contrast, deeper voices invoked images of shorter, darker hair and a more mature formal style. But it's not just imagination. Voices also influence perceptions of attractiveness. When asked which tone they found more appealing, a striking 66.7% of the high-pitch group favor higher voices, compared to just half in the low-pitch group.
I'd definitely say the first one. It has like a more exciting, uplifting vibe to it.
Now, let's take a look at whether voices influence romantic follow-ups. When men heard a higher-pitched voice, 66.7% were eager to ask the girl out, and 61.1% preferred them for more formal relationships. While the preference for higher pitches was clear, the low-pitch group revealed an intriguing pattern. Remember the benchmark voice we included for comparison? Since our benchmark voice was in D minor and the low-pitch voice was in B minor, they both fall into a similar low voice zone. Interestingly, participants showed no distinct preference between these two voices.
In the context of dating or something, it seems like the second girl is a bit more confident about what she wants or what she needs. I think she's someone I would want to either spend more time with, or her confidence would be attractive and I would want to sleep with her for one night.
Actually, for the first voice, I would choose her for like sort of short-term or even one-night stand situations. Because I don't really know these two people, and judging on her voice, I feel like she's a very playful kind of person, and without knowing her very deeply, you can kind of already benefit from that energy.
毕竟我觉得还是可能听第二个听的声音是比较舒服的，所以我觉得第二个应该会比第一个更适合你发展。 长期的那种恋爱关系。对。
It seems that deeper voices did encourage a more cool-headed assessment, especially regarding personality. When they were asked to evaluate the girl's competence, around 94% of men who heard the low-pitched voice rated the girl as more competent, as in more confident or determined, nearly 1/4 higher than those responding to the higher-pitched voice.
I think this girl is control freak. I think this girl like control her friend a lot. Attractive, decisive, calm.
So, are men truly judging women solely based on the pitch of their voices? Our curious student Bella will explore the psychology behind this with Professor Agnes.
Well, Professor, we find that basically low pitch says trust me, but high pitch says date me. Could you please explain that?
I'd say that from an evolutionary perspective, this actually makes a lot of sense. Evolutionary social psychology argues that human behavior is shaped by adaptive strategies to maximize survival and reproduction. Research shows that a higher-pitched female voice signals youth, femininity, and fertility, and even links higher pitch to higher estrogen levels. So, in other words, when those male participants rated high-pitched voices as more attractive, they were responding to subtle biological cues of reproductive health. But biology isn't a whole story. The halo effect shows that once someone is judged attractive, people assume other positive qualities to follow, just like friendliness, warmth, or even physical beauty.
Oh, that explains. So how can we explain the results about the low-pitched voice?
Right. So social psychology does have a very interesting explanation to this. The stereotype content model says we tend to judge people by two dimensions, warmth and competence. So in your study, a low-pitched voice is more linked to determination. That's an attribute of competence. That can earn respect, but does not always spark romance. While on the other hand, warmth and approachability are what people often look for when they're choosing who to date.
But why do men have such perceptions when it comes to dating?
Well, culture plays a big part too. According to social expectation theory, our perceptions are shaped by stereotypes and expectations that are socially constructed. Media reinforces these ideas by constantly linking high-pitched female voices with friendliness, youthfulness, and romantic appeal. Which means your participants didn't just hear voices, they pictured appearances too. High pitch was imagined with lighter skin and long hair, while low pitch was paired with darker skin and short hair. This actually matches research in China showing men preferred lighter skin tones in women, telling us that cultural expectations shape not only how voices are judged, but also how appearance is imagined. In China, lighter skin tone has actually long been associated with refinement and higher social class since it suggested you didn't have to work outdoors under the sun. In contrast, in the United States, for example, a tan often conveys affluence and leisure, signaling the ability to spend time on vacation.
Oh wow! So all those hours spent watching movies and scrolling through social media actually shape our preference for romantic partners. That's so interesting. Thank you, Professor.
That sure was an informative sharing on voice perception and romance.
Oh, wait, Professor. Actually, I have another question.
Well, Bella, let's save some time for our audience questions, shall we? As we wrap up, we want to hear about your thoughts. How do voice pitch and cultural expectations shape your perceptions? What voices resonate with you? The Playful Psychologist video was brought to you by the research team from the Psychology Department at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. To learn more about the research and studies discussed in this episode, scan the QR code to check out our show notes.